Wilson Fisk, aka the Kingpin, is an absolute unit of a man. His sheer presence projects power and dominance. But underneath the many layers of fat and muscle is a weak little boy. He's a power-hungry crime lord, willing to do anything to get what he wants. Almost as if he's compensating for his insecurities by striving for more and more power. Kingpin is a Marvel supervillain, known for being the street-level Thanos. He's the antagonist of many Spider-Man and Daredevil stories, and in this video I'm going to be analysing him as a masculine figure. A boy's dad is typically the role model that he would base his masculinity on. Unfortunately for the young Wilson Fisk, his dad was verbally and physically abusive to him and his mother. The abuse that Wilson Fisk had to endure is integral to his character, as this corrupted his image of masculinity. As a child, his first experience of a powerful masculine figure becomes associated with fear and violence. At this young age, he learns that power is to be feared. This causes Fisk to simultaneously want to be like his dad, but to also be afraid of him. And in many stories, we see Fisk get his revenge for the abuse. In the Netflix/MCU version, we see 12-year-old Wilson hammer his dad's head in while repeating what he taught him. In the Punisher Max comics, we are told a story of how 8-year-old Wilson brings home a stray dog, only for his dad to beat it up and then throw it outside a window, only to then beat up Wilson to teach him a lesson. This was the breaking point, as Wilson will then get his revenge on his dad by drugging him and then torturing him with rats, all at just 8 years old. Bill Fisk has successfully created a monster. Vincent D'Onofrio's portrayal of the Kingpin shows a more human aspect to the character. This version of Wilson Fisk has twitches and quirks that can make him look physically uncomfortable. He's constantly fidgeting with his hands and fingers, and the way he stands can sometimes make him look like a child, not knowing what to do with his arms. The reason for this is simple, because he is a child, just a really big one. Which is ironic because even though he can sometimes look awkward, he's capable of so much violence. In Season 3 of Daredevil, Kingpin blackmails and intimidates FBI agents into doing his bidding. A key example is Agent Nadeem, who begins as a morally upright family man, but under Kingpin's pressure and threats to his family's safety, he's gradually reduced into becoming many of Kingpin's unwilling pawns. And in the finale of Daredevil Born Again, he crushes a police commissioner's head like a fucking watermelon. All the other officers look at this scene and think, oh shit, I guess we better do whatever Kingpin says. The Kingpin is demonstrating the lesson he's taught him, that power is to be feared.
Any questions? Good.
In the Punisher Max comics, we see how Wilson Fisk becomes the notorious Kingpin. We see him earlier on in his crime career as a bodyguard for a crime boss called Don Rigoletto. But while acting as a bodyguard, he's secretly plotting to take over and become a crime boss himself. Fisk recalls how he's grateful for his upbringing. Being raised by his abusive father made him the man he is. Throughout the story, we see Fisk successfully get rid of the major crime bosses so he can take their place. But there's one man left, the man he used to work for, and as he's about to enter the room to finally eliminate him, Rigoletto and his henchmen are already inside, holding his family hostage, with the knife at his son's neck. Fisk is told to drop his gun or the knife will slice through his son's neck. It's a horrific scene. His wife is going manic, questioning why Fisk isn't dropping the gun, his son begging for help. Even Rigoletto is calling him crazy for not dropping his gun instantly. But Fisk refuses to drop his gun and sacrifices his son so he can eliminate Rigoletto and become New York's Kingpin. To make matters worse, as his wife Vanessa is crying at the sight of their lifeless son's body, Kingpin just tells her that they could just get another one. A truly heartless monster. The story ends with him monologuing about how he became a criminal all for his son, but then comes to the realization that he really just did it for himself. If anything, family is one of the things that can keep a man grounded. Their existence prevents men, especially fathers, from acting too reckless, as they have people who care for them and depend on them. For Kingpin, having a wife and child, to be a family man, is the one thing that differentiates him from being exactly like his father, a man who never cared about his family. But this ending clearly shows that he doesn't care about his family. In the MCU, Vanessa plays a huge role in Kingpin's life. It's a common sentiment that women tend to soften even the hardest of men. And Kingpin definitely cares for Vanessa, but she does not soften him or change the monster within him. In fact, something entirely more sinister happens. Vanessa starts off as an innocent art critic, but as their relationship grows, she becomes more like Kingpin. In Season 3 of Daredevil, she calls for the death of FBI agent Nadeem. In Daredevil Born Again, she manipulates Bullseye to eliminate Foggy Nelson. Just like how Bill Fisk created a monster in Wilson Fisk has created a monster in Vanessa. Kingpin is ultimately a man who never escaped the shadow of his father. He's still that frightened little boy, a man-child, both powerful and pathetic. The embodiment of a corrupted masculinity. His entire life is defined by the lesson his father taught him. To be a man is to be feared. Kingpin wanted to prove he was greater than his father. Instead, he became just like him.